Good evening and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin and I am the Dream Decipherer, and I help you to crack the code of your sleep and dreams so you can sleep sound and dream deep. This evening is the second part of my Sweet and Simple Sleep Solutions series, and this evening we'll be taking a look at the impact of aromatherapy on sleep. Now, aromatherapy is not just a beautifully scented way to help relax the mind and body, which can encourage a good night's sleep. It's also used therapeutically in hospitals and hospices and by therapists, both qualified aromatherapists as well as others. But I would like to start this by saying if you're going to be getting regular treatments in aromatherapy, to make sure that the therapist that you are working with is qualified, because certain oils shouldn't be used in certain cases or in certain instances. And some of those instances can actually affect people's health. So it's really important that they know what they can and can give you as an individual. But the reason why aromatherapy is so effective is because it works at the level of what's called the limbic, old, or reptilian brain, the most primitive part of our brain, the brain that formed first when we first came down from the trees and helped us to stay alive, avoid saber-toothed cats, and find a mate or something good to eat. And so it's basically linked to the our survival instinct. And just think it for a moment as when you smell a freshly brewed coffee as you're going down the street or baking bread or something, and it immediately evokes a response or a reaction in us, or maybe even brings up an image. So it's something that is instantly processed by the body, and that's at the primarily the level at which aromatherapy works. Even people who have lost their sense of smell, either due to a genetic issue or because of an accident, can still benefit from aromatherapy, even though they may not be able to smell the oils. So it's a powerful medium and adjunct to healing. To give you an example of how powerful the use of essential oils can be, studies that were done with people who were subject to epileptic seizures found that certain essential oils, such as jasmine, lavender, and chamomile, among others, were able to short circuit that process of going into seizures. So that there really has a physical as well as a psychological and emotional effect on how we feel. Now, the following recommendations for different situations and oils that I'm going to be giving are based on drops in a burner or an airstream unit of some kind. So, to ensure that there are no potential problems. And in fact, if you're going to be burning oil or putting it onto an aroma stream unit, and you have young children in the house under the age of 2, particularly newborns, do not use more than one drop. And I mean that literally, one drop. Young children's immune systems are still in formation, and their noses are and sense of smell are much, much more sensitive than ours are, because they can't see very well yet. So that's just a proviso. And one of the things that I say, that it's helpful to have someone who's a qualified aromatherapist to tell you these things, because it can really knock you for six if you get it wrong. So if you're using a burner or an airstream unit, 4 to 6 drops normally, much less, literally one drop if you're dealing with children or have children who will be in the room where the oil is being burned. Now, I've divided the oil suggested oils into 3 categories: anxiety, low mood, and nervous tension. But Really and truly, the best guide as to which oils work best for you is your own nose. Your nose really does know what you need to get your mind and body to relax so that you can sleep. So, looking at some oils for anxiety, my first suggestion is lemongrass. Now, although it's a mental stimulant, which seems contradictory if you're trying to get your mind to relax and unwind so you can sleep, lemongrass is very helpful for reducing anxiety, which may be causing the sleeplessness. And its lemony scent, kind of like lemon rind rather than pure lemon, is also good for lifting low moods. Another oil is cypress oil, and oil is particularly good for people who may be feeling grief, which may be keeping them up at night. Cypress has long been associated with grief and death, and it's no mistake that they're often planted in cemeteries. But it's a good oil for to help relax the mind and ease tension that's related to feelings of regret or grief. And then our favorite, a perennial favorite for many, is lavender. Lavender is good for a number of things, but it is really an oil of choice for helping to reduce stress and anxiety and encouraging peaceful sleep. My next set of oils are for low or changeable moods. The first of which is clary sage, and clary sage is a lovely oil. It kind of reminds you of a bit of meadows and hay for some reason, but very earthy. And it's a euphoric oil, which means it really lifts the mood. When I was delivering a complimentary therapy service in a hostel for homeless men, when I put a few drops of this oil in the burner, people, the staff and the residents were laughing, they were joking, they were singing. So it really does lift the mood, but there's a couple of provisos here. If there's an issue with cancers that are linked to estrogen, it should be avoided. If a mother that's breastfeeding, it should also be avoided. And during pregnancy, because it can actually stimulate uh, labor ahead of time. So it has its uses, but not during pregnancy. Geranium is another oil that is very balancing in its effect, and it's ideal for balancing mood swings, as well as assisting in lifting anxiety and depression, particularly postnatal depression. And depression is often a cause of poor sleep. So this is a great oil to just kind of relax the mind and bring it back into some state of homeostasis where you're not feelings are not all over the place. My next oil is bergamot. And as with all citrus oils like orange, lemon, grapefruit, etc., bergamot lifts the mood. But the proviso with this is that nearly all citrus oils are phototoxic, which means that if you apply it to your skin, you should not go into the sun and be exposed for up to 12 hours. In this time of year, with the sun very low in the northern hemisphere, it's less of an issue. But again, this is why I suggest putting it in a burner, because then there's no danger of your skin being burned or bleached by a phototoxic oil. The next set of oils, my third set of oils, is for mental fatigue. It's when your brain is just burned out completely, and you need to kind of get yourself together again. And the first of those is grapefruit, again, a citrus oil and phototoxic. So we have to be careful with regard to sun exposure. But it's also good for Particularly good for lifting the mood for depression. Has a very sunny energy, so it's good for that, and it clears the mind. Peppermint is refreshing to the mind as well as to the nose, and it will give boost to a tired mind. But it should be avoided during pregnancy and breastfeeding, or with children who are under the age of 2. And if atrial fibrillation or other issues with the heart are present, it should also be avoided. And eucalyptus is my final oil. And it will not only clear your sinuses and your head, but it will clear the energy in a room as well. So this is a great oil to have in your room, perhaps a 45 30 to 45 minutes ahead of going to sleep, to clear the energy in the space in your room so that it is more conducive to sleep. So there you have it, some oils that can help you to sleep better. And in the next part of the series, we will be looking at the use of herbs and the sleep solutions that they offer. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Have a great evening and start to the week. And I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.